Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Hello! It's time for our next Saturday with Stacey YouTube class number 576. I am home. I am back from being across the pond. I was over at headquarters for Sizzix in Wrexham, that's in Wales, and then I was in Redditch, which a hobby maker is in Redditch, and I did 4 hours of live TV. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, Stacey and live TV makes me nervous. Just putting those two words together, those two phrases, Stacey, live TV. Oh my, but I did it and we sailed through it. And if you watched, thank you for being part of it. And a big thank you to Rosie and to Nigel and to everybody at Hobby Maker. It was too much fun for sure. But I'm back and I'm glad to be back. I'm still a little jet lagged, but I'm gonna have a few days, well, I'm gonna have Sunday to catch up on my sleep. No, actually I don't even get Sunday to catch up on my sleep. I'll catch up on it later. It's gonna be there, right? Now today I have got my October collection from Sizzix. Yes, I know it has been available globally since October 1st. But this is my first opportunity. This is the Scrapbooking Made Simple opportunity to share this collection with you. And that's what I'm going to do. I have dies, I have stencils, I have stamps, I have embossing folders. But today we're really going to focus on one set, a stencil and stamp combination where you might already own the stamp. The stamp I launched all the way back in March. So you might already have the stamp, but we're gonna play with the two of them together so you can see just how beneficial it is to have the stencil as well. And it's only a 2-layer stencil, yay! But before we get into all of that, I have oodles and oodles and oodles of winner chicken dinners to talk about. See, I couldn't announce any winners when I was gone because I was gone. So, and I had to tape everything early. So I have 6 winners to announce, and it looks like we just gave everybody $100. Looks like everybody's got a $100 gift card to spend. Wahoo, ka-choo. Now, if you want a chance to be a winner chicken dinner, it is super simple. All you have to do is post a comment. Post a comment on this video. You have to like the video and then post a comment. You see, the number of likes determines how much the gift cards are worth. Up to 250 likes, it's $25. Up to 500 likes, it's $50. 750 likes, $75. 1,000 likes, $100. Although today I think we just went $100 all the way for everybody just because there was a delay in getting you the winner chicken dinners from the last few weeks. So you gotta like the video and you have to post your comment below. Live chat doesn't count. So if you are joining me during the premiere of my class, you at 8 a.m. sunny California time, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom every Saturday morning. If you're on a laptop or a desktop, live chat's right over there. But if you're on a different device, it's possible that the live chat is below. Live chat comments don't count. You have to post a comment on the YouTube, not part of the live chat. So I do have 6 people. This is $600 right here. 6 people who have a $100 credit in their online account right now to spend any way that they want. Congratulations to all of you. I've got a few to announce. Are you ready? Our first winner is Cheryl. Cheryl Lamborn. Hello, Cheryl Lamborn. Is that you? Because if it is, you're a winner chicken dinner. Our next winner is Carol. Carol Sire? Carol, is that you? Sire? There you go, Carol. Winner chicken dinner of $100. Our next winner is Dorothy. Dorothy Yeager. Hello, Dorothy Yeager. Is that you? Because if it is, you are a winner chicken dinner. $100 gift card. Our next winner is Sonia. Sonia Poole. Congratulations, Sonia. Wahoo Kachoo for you. What are you going to do with that $100, Sonia? How are you going to spend it? Oh, all the ways. Just thinking all the ways you could spend that money, Sonia. Our next winner is Jerry. Jerry Harmon. Hello, Jerry Harmon. Congratulations. You are a winner chicken dinner here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. There is $100 in your online account already. Wahoo Kachoo. And our last winner chicken dinner is Mary. Mary Ford. Hey, Mary. How are you? Congratulations, my friend. Wahoo Kachoo. Mary is on our live chats quite frequently, so everybody wish Mary a congratulations. We've got Mary, we've got Jerry, we've got Sonia, we've got Dorothy, we've got Carol, and we have got Cheryl. All of these SMS peeps, all of them have won a $100 gift card. Oh my gosh. So now we have to do the winner chicken dinner dance for all of these great SMS peeps because, well, that's what we do. We're not going to do it 6 times over again. But for all of you winners, sit up straight. Come on up, sit up straight. We got to do the dance together. And you're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, Kachoo for you. Congratulations to all 6 of you. So sorry it took me a little time to get them all done, but I couldn't do it while I was traveling because I had to record everything early, so you wouldn't have been able to post a comment by the time I would have had to announce the winners. It just would not have worked. But it's good now. All of you, I'm sure, are Wahoo Kachoo happy. And if you want a chance to be a winner, just hit the like button and post a comment. That's all you gotta do. You never know when we have random software, when that generator is gonna pluck you out and say, winner, chicken dinner. So today, I have my Sizzix collection. It is a capsulized collection, small, concise, to the point. And last week I did my squares. So I got them to let me launch my square dies a little bit early. That means that the I Want It All bundle this week does not have my squares in it. They will be on sale. They will be at, I think it's 30% off. But they're not part of the I Want It All bundle, just in case you got the squares last week. I didn't want you to get them twice. So if you didn't get the squares last week and you want it all, you're going to get the I Want It All bundle plus the squares. If you got the squares last week when I launched them just a wee bit early, just a pinch, just a smidge early, then you're just gonna get the I Want It All bundle, and you don't have to worry that you're going to get 2 sets of the squares. We took care of that for you. And I think I'm going to walk you through some of the product and some of the samples first, and then we're gonna start making our makes, because I'm using 1 stamp and 1 stencil today. And the stamp that I'm using today was released all the way back in March. So I have a new coordinating stencil for it. So if you purchase the stamp back in March or April or May or June or July or August or September, you are going to want to get this 2-layer, it's only a 2-layer stencil that is just going to make the stamp become so much more than what it was. It was great to begin with, but now it's even better. And the stamp works all by itself. You don't need the stencil. The stencil works all by itself. You don't need the stamp. But if you have them both, oh, the options you have. And I am a girl who loves options. It is all about the options because I want you to have options. So I'm going to walk you through some of the product really quickly. That way you can see, because I'm not going to be using the embossing folders or the dies. However, if you go back and you watch some of my Take Two Tuesday events, that's where Sizzix Stacey happens. And for the past few weeks, I've been highlighting my October collection. So you can go back and watch those and see beautiful things made with my embossing folders and the coordinating stencils and just loveliness. But today I'm going to tilt down. I'm going to walk you through just a few of the samples. Over here, you can't see it, but over here, I have stacks of beautiful finished samples to share with you a little bit later on. But let's just give you a little idea of what we're looking at. So I'm going to tilt on down. I'm going to get started for today. It's good to see everybody, and it really is good to be home. It's nice to go, but it's nice to get back. All right, so let's see what we've got. Okay, so this is the stamp that released in March. It was one of the very first part of my first collection that I ever did for Sizzix. You know it's a Stacey Park item because it's got the Stacey Park teal going down the side. The stamp is called Inspire. It is an A5 stamp. It is really big. And you're like, Stacey, why would you do such a big stamp? Well, because the way I designed it, it is portioned so that you could do an A6 card, an A2 card, a 5x7 card, a slimline card. You have options. So this is the stamp that released way back in March. And now I have the coordinating 2-layer stencil to go with. So the stencil is a standalone stencil and is beautiful all by itself. The stamp is a standalone stamp and beautiful all by itself. But when you pair the two together, truly what you have is magic. And I was able to add into the stamp, we do have sentiments already added. Trust the timing of your life, celebrate small victories, tap into your magic. So there's sentiments included. And again, a 2-layer stencil, not a 4-layer. So that really does keep the price point down. Now the samples to go with, just a few of them. Look at how beautiful. Now the square is part of my Fanciful Framelits that I launched last week. That is my October Fanciful Framelit, that square with that embossing feature. But I love these samples. Again, here, square with my embossing feature. Love, 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 love. So whether you're using it with the stencil only, with the stamp only, or both, isn't this just lovely? This one was done by Brenda DeLoyer. Isn't that beautiful? You have options. So the first item in my in my October collection is the stencil. The stamp came from my March collection. It is still available. We do have it as part of the YouTube Yummies, and it is on sale. So having these two, magic. Then I have a 3D embossing folder. Lots of lines. Oodles of lines. It's very, very, very linear. This is the Down the Line. So Down the Line is the name, and then the coordinating stencil. Now again, the stencil is 2-layer. This is an A6 stencil, while the stencil for my floral, my Inspire, is an A5 stencil. So you can see the difference in size. This is an A6, this is an A5, because the stamp is an A5, so the stencil needs to be the same size. So I've got the embossing folder and the coordinating stencil. The embossing folder is beautiful on its own. The stencil is beautiful on its own. When you pair them together, again, it's magic. So here I have the stencil all by itself on opulent paper. Ooh, look at, isn't that fabulous how it winks at you, depending on how you turn it? And we haven't even matted it on anything. This is just on opulent paper. Look at that. But then I have it in just black paper. Look at the detail, right? oodles of detail. Look at the lines. Yes, I like the linear lines, but here I have just the stencil all by itself. No embossing at all. I just used the stencil here. Great guy card. Really great guy card. I just used my Stacey Park Jacquard inks. Bam. But here I've used the stencil and the embossing folder. Can you see all those beautiful, lovely lines, those ridges? And again, I just used my Stacey Park Jacquard inks. Yeah, you can certainly hear it. So that is my down the line, yes, down the line stencil and 3D embossing folder. I get the names so confused sometimes. So both of these are new for October. They're sold separately, so if you just love the embossing folder, you can get that. If you just love the stencil, you can get that, or you can pair the two of them together. The next one that I'm going to do is my Sunday in the Park. So, same thing. It is a embossing folder, a 3D embossing folder with this beautiful linear florals going on. But then I have the 2-layer stencil to coordinate with it. 2-layer stencil. The stencil works all by itself. The embossing folder works all by itself, or you can pair them together. So here's the embossing folder again on opulent paper. Isn't that beautiful? Look at how yummy is that. I love the florals. And it's an all over background. But here we did it in just the black. And when I say we, I mean, oh, so clever Karina did these. Just in the black. Look at all the linear lines. It's so gorgeous. But here, this one was done by Zelda. Zelda made this sample, and she's just used the stencil. No embossing folder here, just the stencil. And then I did this one, and I used the stencil and the embossing folder. Can you see all those lines coming through? I used the stencil and the embossing folder here. So this is my Sunday in the Park embossing folder and coordinating layering stencil, but just 2 layers, easy peasy, right? Right. Okay, so these go here, and I'm gonna put those there. Then I have another combo where this stamp launched in March. It's called Petals. I love this stamp. I do. It just makes my heart happy. I use it all the time. It's this fabulous all over background stamp. Again, A5 in size. That means you can do a slim line, a mini slim line, a 5x7, a 5x5. You can do an A2 and A6. What do you want to do? Because you have the size to do it. And in October, I came back with the 2-layer stencil. Now this stencil is so sweet. It is so sweet all by itself. It really just is darling. But when you mix the two of them together, holy smokes artichokes. So here's the stencil. Here's the stencil all by itself. Isn't that absolutely darling? It's just sweet. But if you want to bam it up a little bit, here's the stencil and the stamp together. Oh my, isn't that fabulous? And again, the size. Imagine you can do an A2 card, an A6 card, you could do a 5x7, you could do a 5x5, you could do a slim line, you could do a mini slim line. You have options. You can use the stamp in the stencil. You can just use the stencil. You can just use the stamp. And those go there. Then the last thing I have for you, because it is a small collection, is my next set of fanciful framelits. And again, I launched these last week in the YouTube with Find It Trading and their scenery. My fanciful framelits are very, very specific and different than anybody else's dies. It has a frame die, but then it has an embossing feature, and a frame die and an embossing feature, and a frame die all the way down. The embossing feature is kept separate from the main die so that you can use the main die by itself or with the embossing feature, or you can just use the embossing feature. And the embossing feature not only embosses, but it will letterpress, it will foil, hot foil. There's so many things to be done, and my squares launched last week. So inside the I Want It All bundle, you will not find the squares. If you get the I Want It All bundle and you want the squares because you don't have them yet, they're on sale and you can add them into the order. But I knew that we had some customers who bought the squares last week, and I didn't want them to accidentally get 2 sets. So here, look at, there's that beautiful Inspire stamp again. Actually, that's the stencil. And you can see the detail on that square. And it's just using Reveals paper that allowed me to sand it. And here, there are your different size squares. They're done in frames with the embossing element. But I could have foiled them. I could have letterpressed them. And if I wanted solids, here are all the solids I get. All of these. And all of these, and so much more. Really, there is a lot that fanciful framelits do. So I have walked you through kind of the overview of the collection. My Inspire stamp launched in March. You may already have it. Now it has the coordinating stencil. I've got Sunday in the Park as an embossing folder and Sunday in the Park as a stencil. I've got Down the Line as an embossing folder. I've got Down the Line as a coordinating stencil. I have got Petals that launched back in March and is a stamp set. Now I have the coordinating stencil called Petals to work with. And I have a new set of fanciful framelits. That's it. That's the whole collection. 2 of the SKUs were already released. So there's just 7, I believe 7 items in there, and that's it. But today we're gonna play, and I'm going to start with, love this stencil. This is my Inspire Adornment. They call it an adornment because it's the coordinating stencil. You can see that it's larger. You can see that it's 2 stencils, and that's all it is. And it does coordinate with the matching stamp. So to begin with, I think I'm going to play with just the stencil for a little while, and then we'll bring in the matching stamp, and then we'll just keep taking it to the next level and the next level and the next level. So the stencils are A5 in size. They are larger. So A5, this would be A4 if we had this. That would be an A4 size. These are A5. Half of this would be A6. And it really gives you the opportunity to do a lot of different things because of the size. Now, they are by Sizzix, so they've got the little holes at the top. That way we can use our stencil and stamp tool, which I'm going to do. With Sizzix, they do put their name at the top, they do put the SKU number at the top, and what position it is. This is number 1. If it was a 4-layer stencil, there'd be one that says 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here we have Sizzix. We have the SKU number and position number 2. That way you know what order they belong in. I am going to bring over my stencil and stamp tool. Hello, stencil and stamp tool. I use this all the time, like all the time, and we will have it on sale for you. We always have it at a great price, And I think it's just, it does what it says and it says what it does. It is a stencil alignment tool and a stamp positioner. Depending on if you're going to use the lid, take the lid off and it's for your stencils. Add the lid back on and it's for your stamps. You really get everything in here that you need to stamp beautifully or to stencil where you're happy with it. Now it comes with a sheet of sticky grid. That's this right here. And sticky grid is, gosh, it's kind of like a perfectly sized and perfect stick-em Post-it note, I suppose. It is a sheet that you put down onto your stencil and stamp tool, and when it stops sticking, you just peel it up and replace it. They sell 5 sheets in a pack, and I want to say they're $12.99, and when we put them on sale, then we put them on sale. But 5 sheets to a pack. Now, sticky grid is going to last you quite some time. The tack holds for a very long time. Yes, you can get ink on it. Please don't try to wipe your ink off if you get ink on it. The ink is not going to affect how tacky the sticky grid is. What will affect how tacky it is how many times do you put your hands on it, because eventually the oils from your skin will stop making it tacky. Or if you throw glitter on top of it or embossing powder, anything that would make something not sticky anymore, it's going to be the same here. But this does last a long time if you take care of it, and don't try to wipe anything down with a baby wipe. Just let it be. When you need to replace it, because you get 1 sheet with your tool, you just peel it off and buy the 5-pack, and that 5-pack's going to last you quite a long time. Now this little green piece here, this is an alignment tool. It is what allows your stencils to align up perfectly every time you're using them. And it allows you to pick up your stencil, look at your work, and then put it right back down again and continue on. I've got my stencil, my paper here. Now my sticky grid is holding my paper in place. That's what sticky grid does. It holds the paper in place, right? Perfect. So I don't have to tape anything down. I don't have to use magnets. I'm going to come over. I'm going to grab my number 1. And with those 2 little holes at the top, I'm just going to pop it down into place. Pop, pop. Now I see I can move my paper down just a little bit. Sticky grid releases your paper, and I can move it down just a little bit so I get the bottom and press down. Now, what if your stencils that you own don't have holes at the top of them because they're not all by Sizzix? Well, I get that. So if we were pretending that this is the top of the stencil and there's no holes in it, please don't go and grab a hole punch and try to line it up and work with these little nibs on your alignment tool. These nibs are a very special size, and they've been designed a very special way. They're not straight all the way down, they're at an angle. But Sizzix does sell a little converter for this. So they come in a pack of 10, and it's a little piece that just adheres to the top with some double-sided tape that's on it, and it adds the 2 little holes for you so you can continually use your Sizzix stencil and stamp tool. The nice thing is once you're done with that converter, you can pop it off and use it on another stencil. So they're very, very handy to have, and you do get 10 per pack. And I want to say they're around $5.99. So I've got my paper down. I can slide it wherever I want it to be, but once I've put my paper where I want it to be, I'm not going to move it up. Now I'm going to keep this very simple. The first few I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep them very simple. I'm going to do perhaps tone on tone, and that's it. Keep it tone on tone. And maybe I'll use a little papaya salad to make that happen. So I am using my inks by Jacquard. They're blendable, they're water soluble, they are embossable. They actually stay wet long enough for you to emboss. And I love my inks. They're so lovely. They're so highly saturated that I will never have a papaya salad family. That's what this one's called, papaya salad. I'll never have a darker version and a lighter version. This is so saturated that I can desaturate the color by just tapping off. I can desaturate the color. So I've got a little blending tool over here, little blending mat, desaturate, and I'm gonna come in, oh, got it right on my finger. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna add some color. Now this is an alignment tool. It's not a I'm gonna hold your stencil in place for you so that it doesn't buckle tool. Your stencil can still buckle. So you do need to keep your fingers on your stencil. And do you see how light I'm doing this? I have really just desaturated this color. And yes, I have re-inkers, and to be honest with you, I probably use my re-inkers more than I use my stamp pads because I like to paint with my re-inkers. They are so saturated. I do oodles of stuff with my re-inkers. All right. So I wanted to keep it very light, and I can pick it up and look at it and say, am I happy with that? Do I like that? Am I good? Do I want to do more? Do I want to do less? And the beautiful thing is that the minute I put my alignment tool back on, bam, I'm good to start. I'm good to continue. I could make it a little darker. I could make it a little lighter. I could add maybe a little bit of green for some of the stems. I'm using my Crafter's Companion brushes. I love that they have their own little storage unit. You get 5 brushes in a pack. I'm just going to add a little green to some of this. And I'm not going to care if my green gets mixed in with some of my other color. Green. All right, I think that's good. So I've added a little bit of green. And then if I wanted to, I could come back with my papaya salad, desaturate again, and just kind of go over, just to kind of blend a little bit. Oh, I got green on my fingers. Boy, howdy did I get green on my fingers. And then if I lift up, I can see where I've added that green. Just super soft and super elegant. Pay no attention to where I got green on my fingers. No attention. But isn't that pretty? And that's just using the one stencil. I haven't even come in with the second stencil yet, but let's pop that one off and let's put stencil number 2 on. And now I can come in with my papaya salad, and I can come in darker. So again, my fingers need to be here, but I can now come in darker. Wow, what a difference that is. Look at the difference in color. Here's papaya salad light, there's papaya salad dark. And I can come in and add my color as dark or as light as I want it. As much saturation and intensity where I want it to be. And I'm not trying to have it all the same color because I don't want my paper to look flat. If everything is the exact same shade, my paper will tend to look flat. So I want some highs and I want some lows. And I can always pick up to see how I'm doing. And you can see the lighter shade around it and the darker shade in the center. So now I'm just going for it. And with just 2 colors, because I used my green, I can make some beautiful, beautiful flowers. Just using my stencil. So the lighter color, I desaturated my papaya salad, added a little bit of green, and then came back with a lot more papaya salad, way more strong. Maybe I want a little, so it's not quite defined right there, kind of just fades out. Maybe I put my stencil back on, it lines right back up, and I can add a little more color just to define that out just a little bit. Bam, done. So tone on tone. You don't have to have a lot of ink pads to make it work. You just have to have the right ink pads. Really pretty, right? Okay, one done. Let's put it right here. One done. I'm going to clean off my stencils, which is easy to do with just a baby wipe. And then we'll do another. Just a baby wipe. And then we will start another. All right, let's grab a piece of paper, let's grab my alignment tool, and let's do a wash, rinse, and repeat, only we'll change up the colors a little bit. There we go. And stencil number 1 on top. I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. That looks good. Maybe a little to the side. That looks good. Pop it down in place. And I'm good to go. Now, as long as I don't move my paper, I can take my alignment tool on and off my stencil and stamp tool as much as I want. So I think I'm gonna do maybe a little bit of yellow as my first color. And I'm using my yellow curry. And I'm holding my stencil just so it doesn't buckle. But I'm able to pick it up and look and see what I'm doing and then put it right back down again. just add my color. So these blending brushes don't leave that little circle that a typical blending brush leaves. They have the little corners so that you can get into little areas. And I like that they have their own storage case for each one. They're sold 5 to a pack, and they are by Crafter's Companion. And they're pretty yummy. Okay, I've got my yellow down. Now what if I came back with maybe my red? My red delish. So let's take that and let's grab my there we go. We'll do a little bit of my red delicious. And I'm just adding a little bit here and a little bit there. So I'm not trying to cover up all my yellow. And I'm just putting it all the way around. Some flowers will have a little more, some flowers will have a little less. And then once I'm happy, I'm going to come back with a little bit of yellow over the top of it, just to blend the color in that much more. Now it kind of looks like a hot mess here, but here it doesn't. Doesn't look so much like a hot mess there, but I want to add some more yellow. Look at that, and it aligns right up. I don't even have to think about it. I'm just adding a little bit more yellow right over my red, just to kind of darken it up. And give that depth and that saturation. Give your eye something to zoom in on, something to look towards. So pretty. I can just play and play and play until my heart's delight. And look at that. Now, because I haven't moved my paper, I can come back with stencil number 1 and add my green. I haven't moved my paper at all. So look at that. I'm back to step 1. I'm back to the start. And I can add some of my green if I want my stems to have a little bit of green going on. And the reason I can do this is because I've got this platform that lets me line everything up perfectly every time. I can come back and add some of my yellow. You really can't go wrong. I can swap and I can add back in my red. The key is not picking up that paper until you are calling it done. And you just keep going back and forth until your heart is happy. Now that's a much different look than this. A much different look than that. Right? What if we changed colors again? And this time we really blended. So I'm going to clean my background. Just using my baby wipe. Now these were made so that you could chop it up. Here's your A2 or your A6 card. Here's your 5x7 card. Here's your slimline. Here's your slimline. You can do a square card. This was made so that you could leave it as big as it is, or you can chop it up. It has perfect proportions to do an A6 or an A2 card, perfect proportions for a slimline or a mini slimline or a 5x7. That's the benefit of having something that's bigger. It's easy to cut something down that's bigger, but if you have something small and you want to enlarge it to make it bigger, that's a whole different story. That's a horse of a different color, as Dorothy would say. Well, actually, that would have been the wizard. Okay, so let's change it up again. And let me start with my background. And me being me, I will start with my yellow because I'm a creature of habit. There we go. Bring over my yellow if I need to clean off my little blending mat. Now this blending mat actually comes in an A4 size, and then I cut it down to smaller sizes. An A4 is the size of my sticky grid. It's by Woodware, and I love it. So I took this and I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half, and I love having a blending mat. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of yellow. And I'm trying to be a little soft in my color. I can always add it and make it darker. But once I go dark, well, that's the color you're going to have. I'd rather start kind of soft and light and build the color up. And then I think I might come in with a little bit of my teal. And I'm going to blend that teal right into my yellow. Now this is the first time where we're doing a dual color on the background. So I'm doing a dual color on my background. And the colors are so pretty. And they blend so lovely. Keeping my fingers there. Okay, I think that's good, and I might add just a little bit more yellow. It just kind of darkens the color up just a little bit. So around the edges, I'm adding a little bit more yellow. And there is no right and there is no wrong. It's all about playing. It really is. And it's only white paper. That's all I'm using is white paper. So nothing to be afraid of. White paper's easy peasy. All right, do I think I'm good? Look at how pretty that is just by itself. Just by itself, doing nothing more to it. It's beautiful. Chop it up. Take the pieces you need from it. That is so lovely. But what if I want to add the rest of the stencil? I think I'm going to use my Blue Jay. So I don't want to use my Blue Jay, which is a color. I don't want to come in here with that Blue Jay and color everything, because that's what I had here. I started with the papaya salad as the light color, and then I came in with the papaya salad as the dark color, and it covered everything up. I don't want to cover everything up. I like what I did, but I'd like some more dimension where the little detail is on the flowers. So what if I came in with my Blue Jay grab my blending brush. And I grabbed a little bit of Blue Jay. I've got it on my mat. I'm tapping it off. And I just come in and do a little bit. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to come in and do a little bit. I don't want to cover up everything. I don't want to cover up all my flower. I love the colors that I've got so far. They're beautiful. They're soft and luscious. Just go in. And I just add a little bit. I'm picking up the extra that I have here. I've got lots of ink here. So I'm picking it up and I'm going to use it. And now I can pick up my stencil. Sort of looks like a hot mess. But then it doesn't. Look at how pretty is that? And anywhere else I want to shade it on out, maybe I don't want the lines to be so harsh in any one place. All I have to do is kind of buffer it on out. And move along. Look at how easy that was. Look at how pretty is that. So here I covered up the entire lighter shade with a solid. And here I had that yellow as my base and came in with my red and kind of willy-nilly'd it here and there. But now I'm really starting to play with blends and colors. And the stencil it's beautiful all on its own. And as long as I don't lift that paper, I could have gone back and stenciled again and again and again. Right? So pretty. Just done with the stencil. But I do have the coordinating stamp. I do. So let's clean our stencils off and let's decide what we want to do with that coordinating stamp, because I do have it. Baby wipe to get it clean. how about we try with a little bit of light yellow and a little bit of red and a little bit of dark yellow. Let's see what we get, and then we might try it with the blue. So, alignment tool, stencil with my Sizzix facing me, and I can see that this is stencil number 1. Put them right into the little holes. Bam and bam. Put my paper underneath, just line it up where I want it to be. Ooh, this paper is, oh, let's go with something a little bit whiter. That one's by the hair of a chinny chin chin. There we go. Let's come in and let's keep it super soft yellow. Just trying to keep it nice and soft. I might even leave some space, a little negative space here and there. Just trying to build that outline, just ever so slight. Okay, there's my outline. Told you, super soft. Now let's come back with stencil number 2, and let's go way darker. And I'm just throwing color here and there. You don't want to think too long about it. Just let it be. Just put some color down and let's see what we get. Worst case scenario, you don't like it. Then you turn your paper over. Although I think you should finish what you start, because usually by the time you're done with it, you've had a change of opinion. There, super easy, super light. Okay, now I have the opportunity to stamp. So keeping my paper exactly where it is, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna do this one more time, probably with the blues, because I like the blues so much. I've got my paper exactly where it is. Now I can bring over the coordinating stamp. Here it is. I can lay it right down on top. Kind of line it up. Now the reason I'm not moving the paper is because if I want to come back and stencil again, I want that opportunity. I think I'm close. This is where you bring the lid back to your stencil and stamp tool. Now the lid has 2 sides. It has one that's smooth and one that's gridded. If you use the gridded side to try and pick up your stamp, it's not going to cling to it. You need to have the smooth side against the stamp and the gridded side facing you. Super important. Give a press down, pick it up, and now I can ink. And what color do I want to ink in? Do I want to ink in papaya salad? Maybe I want to throw some red delish in there. My inks are meant to blend. So I can then put it right in, send it on down, and give a press. Lift up. Oh, I've got some holes. I need to go back. So let's go back and let's ink up a little bit more. Let's see what we get this time. This time I'll give a good press. Oh, much better. Really much better. But if I want it even darker, if I want it more red in areas, I pick it up and I can keep coming back because I haven't lifted my paper. Bring it back. Down I go. And look at the detail. It's so, oh, I've got a spot right there. Right. Not anymore. Got a little spot right there. Not anymore. It's so detailed. So detailed. But then I can also bring back my stencil because I haven't moved my paper. The desire is to pick it up and look at it. But until you are happy with it, I say just let it lie. Just let it lie. Now I could go in maybe with just a little bit of red. Let's bring over my blending mat. And just a little bit down at the bottom. And lift up. And it's up to me if I'm done, if I'm happy, if I want to go again. What do I want to do? Do I want to add more color? Do I want to stamp again? Do I want to stamp in a different color? Do I want to stamp in something darker? I could bring over my papaya salad all over again, or I could come back in with my red delish and stamp even darker. As long as you don't move that paper, you have all the options in the world. Because it's just going to keep lining up and lining up and lining up. And every time I go in and I add a little bit more color, it gets a little bit more depth. The stamp just adds that, it just, bam. Okay, so I'm gonna lift it up now. And show you the difference. Stencil, stencil and stamp. Stencil, stencil and stamp. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. So I'm gonna clean my stencils and I'm gonna clean my stamp and baby wipe to clean everything. I think that's pretty good. Okay, put that over there because I'm gonna need it eventually, but I'm gonna start with the stencil. Stencil. Well, I think I'm probably going to do yellow because I know me. So let's bring over my alignment tool. Let's bring over a piece of paper. Put my stencil down. Make sure my Sizzix is face up. Paper underneath. And once we've done this one, then we're going to move to the psh. Okay, did you do it? That's really more like it. Because if you think this is lovely, wait till you see what I do after I do this one. Truly. So I'm just gonna make sure my brush is yellow. It is, it's true to yellow. Let's add a little bit of color. And I'm just going for it. Again, this is my yellow curry. I have a pineapple crush, which is a brighter yellow. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. And let's bring over my teal deal. And I'm just gonna go for it. And I think this is all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to stamp. I don't even think I'm going to use my second stencil. Pretty these colors blend. They're like a little bit of magic. Okay. Stencil number 1. Oh, pretty all by itself. But we can bring over my stamp. Now I pull my stamp off and I line it on up. That looks pretty good to me. Smooth side down. And now maybe we can try with the teal and see if it's going to be dark enough. We might have to come in with some Blue Jay. So I've got teal going everywhere. Close it on up. Give a good press. Pull up. Oh, so pretty. But I do think I want a little bit more blue. I think I want a little bit more blue to it. So let's go in and let's add a little bit of my Blue Jay. And then I think I'll add a little teal just to soften it out. My colors don't make mud. I think that's super important. You can layer and layer and layer and they just don't make mud. Oh, see, look at that. Am I done? Am I done? Am I done? That's a good question. I can't, you're like, I can't answer that for you, Stacey. I know, but you can just layer on top of layer on top of layer on top of layer of color, and you're not gonna make mud. Oh, yes, it needed to be just a little darker. Oh, swoon, drool, yes, sign me up, please. Okay, I don't know, it's pretty yummy to me. Super easy to do. The stencil is lovely all by itself. It truly is beautiful. But then you add the stamp on top and it's bam. So are you looking for subtle, zen, oh, just kind of a soft background? Or are you looking for hello, gorgeous, I'm spectacular and I know it, where here I am. You know, I'm not a wallflower. I'm very pretty, and I know I'm very pretty, but I'm an understated pretty. So, are you an understated or are you a bam? Oh, I love this set. And this is how my petals set works too. This set is so good. This stamp has been out for months. Once you add the stencil, it changes everything about it. It does. But we're not done. Okay, we're gonna change things up a bit. Oh, the girls are gonna have to make samples with all of these. They're gonna be so thrilled. But wow. Okay, so let's clean my stamp. And we're gonna stencil again, only this time we're gonna change it up dramatically. Not the stenciling part, but the stamping part. Dramatically. Was that dramatic enough for you? Oh, it's late, I'm tired. I'm getting a bit giddy. You're like, you mean you weren't giddy to begin with? Nope. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it right on there because I'm gonna have to line it up anyway a little bit later. Let's take and let's clean. And let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. Okay. And what colors do I want? Do I want a soft pink maybe? For that I'm going to need my pink blending brush. So let's pull over Cranberry Fizz. And let's go soft, soft, soft. Soft, soft, soft. Like a cloud. Like Cool Whip. Soft, soft, soft. Can you see how my blending tool isn't leaving the little round, when you hit it, it doesn't leave that little round ink little mark. I love these. I didn't think I was ever going to find anything that I loved more than the blending brushes we had until these. And then, like, oh, I love these. Now, you don't need to have one for every color ink. You need one for every color family. I am a little bit spoiled, and I have one for each color of my inks. I have 18 inks with 6 more coming any day now, I think. But I love Dreamy. Okay, soft, sweet, done. Now, let's take and put my lid on my ink. Thank you very much. And instead of stamping right on top of it, because I could just stamp right on top of it and have a beautiful stamp. What if I took my Essentials glue pad and I glued my stamp up because I wanted to use glitter? Can I do that? Sure I can. Let's line my stamp up. Make sure that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go for that. Smooth side against. Pick up my stamp, and this time instead of inking it up with ink, I'm going to glue it up with an Essentials glue pad. This is how it's sold. This is glue. Your pad comes completely dry. When you get it, you're gonna be like, there's nothing on there. Well, there is on mine. And I'm gonna say, yeah, you're right, there's nothing on there. All the glue is in this little bottle. and you only use as much glue as you need for the job that you are doing. So I put a little bit of my glue, let's get one that's, put a little bit of my glue kind of on a Z pattern. And I don't want to use too much. You can always add more glue, but once it's there, you can't put it back in the bottle. And your glue pad will eventually build up a nice little tolerance, a nice little amount of glue. And it never dries. You don't have to worry that it's going to go icky or crusty, or it never fully dries. Put a little bit more on, because that's a big stamp and I didn't have some on here beforehand. It's been a while since I've used it. All right. Now, I'm going to put my lid back on. I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to give a good press. Now I'm transferring the glue onto my inked image. Make sure I got it really good. I was trying to pull my paper with it because it's glue. Oh yeah, I can see that I got a really good image. Can you see that? Let me see if, can you see the watermark? That's the glue. Now I need to let this go tacky. It's gotta go tacky. It's the one time in your life you need to be tacky. I'm not gonna throw glitter on this right now. Oh no, I'm gonna let it sit for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I won't let it sit that long. And I'm not gonna clean this off yet either, because I'm gonna use it again. So I'm gonna stencil one more time. While that one's going tacky, I might as well, right? I might as well. So bring over a piece of paper. I don't know if this is wide enough. I might have to cut myself some new paper. Ooh, by the hair of a chinny chin chin. And let's clean off the ink. And this time I'll do a blend. So while my other one is sitting over there getting all tacky on itself, I'll do another one, because by the time I'm done with this, that one will be ready to be glittered. Make sure my Sizzix is face up. Super important, otherwise your stamp will not line up. There we go. And I was really happy with the yellow teal combination. How did you feel about that? I kind of liked it. But I like just about anything with yellow. It's a happy color, and yellows go with the reds and oranges and pinks. Yellows go so well with that, but yellows also go so well with blues and greens. It's the color that wants to play in everybody's sandbox. So I think I'm just gonna grab me some yellow. And just add some color. And I'm past the point of worrying about too much, too little. I'm just letting my color go on as it goes on, and I'm not worrying about it. Because I know I've done enough of these to know that you can't make a mistake. It's really hard to go, oh, I don't think I like that. It's really hard. Okay, then let's add some teal. And I'm just blending it right into that yellow. Fingers on my stencil so it doesn't buckle. I can pick it up and look. Ooh, and I can put it back down and keep going. Boy, if you pick it up and look and you've got it with magnets or tape, well, it's going to take you a few minutes to line the registration back up again. By the time you line it back up, I will be done. And I think I might just add some Blue Jay for the heck of it. Kind of a, why the heck not? Now tell me this isn't pretty. Oh! Well, the thing is I can't hear you. So even if you were telling me it's not pretty, in my mind you're saying, oh yes, it's fabulous. Lift it up. Right? I don't know. I love it just like that. It's going to be hard for me to cover it up, but that's my job. So we're going to do it. I'm going to bring my stamp back. I'm going to reposition it because I didn't get my paper in exactly the same place my paper was last time. I'm going to line it up. Now I didn't clean it, so I want to be a little gentle with it because I don't want it to leave too much. Well, that looks good. I'm going to go there. And it may try to pull my paper because it's still got some glue on it. Oh, yay for me. And let's glue up my stamp pad again. Just a nice little Z, 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 Z. Mush it in with my finger. And then let's re-glue up my stamp. Now the glue is water soluble. So a baby wipe is going to clean the glue, even if you leave it on for days. You're not going to hurt your stamp. This isn't a solvent type product that would eat into your stamp. Okay. Let's close it up and give a nice press. Good press. And then let's pull. Yeah, it's going to want to take my paper with it because it's glue. So I'm just putting my finger underneath it to hold my paper down. There we go. I think I got a pretty good press. We'll know more once we add our glitter. All right, I'm going to set this off to the side. Well, I think I missed a spot right there, but that's okay. You can see the watermark of where the glue is. Now I can bring this one back. And it's been sitting. First thing I want to do is take my stamp off of my platform, and whether I wash it down right now or I wash it down later, I want it off my platform because I don't want that glue on my sticky grid. And I want to close up my stencil and stamp tool. I do not want to start using glitter. I don't want to lay this down and start using glitter while it's open, because then it'll get on my sticky grid and my sticky grid won't be as sticky as it used to be. But if I close it up, I've got my protective right there. And I think we will do we want to do the darker or do we want to do a gold? Let's do the darker and see what we get. All right, I've got the little spoons back. I don't have a ton of them, but these are little dipper spoons. And my glitter is a microfine glitter. And I do mean microfine. It is ground to finer than dust. I mean, it really is like dust. And because it's like dust, it clings to the finest detail. The finest detail. So I'm sprinkling it around. These are sold 5 to a pack. I only have so many of them. So I've got my glitter going down. And because I'm just using one color, I'll be able to put whatever I don't use back into my jar. If I was mixing colors, I'd have a mishmash pot. Okay. So 1 scoop was too much. I didn't even need 1 full scoop. Now we'll make a little funnel. And I'll pick this up. And this is where the magic starts to happen. Was that magic? Pretty wonderful, right? I need more glitter. I can see where I need it. It gets people every time. So I'm going to put a little bit more in here. And then I take my finger, and I gently rub over everything, and I'm moving the glitter where it needs to go. Wherever I feel tackiness, I know I don't have enough glitter. So I'm moving my glitter here and there, and I'm just moving it with my finger. And it's filling in all the spaces that still have, see up there, see here? It's not very glittery. If I move all the glitter over, it's going to cling to wherever there is glue. Gosh, I don't know that I have enough to even put back. I don't even have enough to worry about putting it back. Whoa, what do you think? We did it with the stamp, we did it with the stencil, and once your glitter's on, your glitter doesn't come off. It's not like M&Ms. It really doesn't come off in your hands. I'm not sure how they get away with saying that, because they do melt in your hands. But so pretty. Almost looks like foil. Wow. Done with glitter. But we have one more to do. We do. We have this one. Now, do I do it in gold or do I do it in blue? How about I do it in gold? So this is yellow curry. I've got some in my little scooper. And it's had time to sit. And I just want it to go everywhere, because then I'm going to move it around with my finger. So that was a whole scoop. And now we take it. Oh, it's not. Maybe wait. Oh. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. I think I might have almost had too much glitter on. Oh. Anywhere it's tacky, I'm just running it right over. And then let's gather it all up. So there's none left. Ha! Wow. Okay, that's a wahoo kachoo. It looks like foil. Isn't that a little bit of happiness? Ooh, you know what we do have? We have this one. Should we do it in the blue? Should we do it in the silver? Should I foil some of these? I can. Well, it's not foiling, it's glittering, but it sure does look like foil. Let's see what we've got. Let's see. What color glitter? I've got 18 colors. Ooh. Maybe the dark blue? So Admiral blue, maybe? So we'll bring over our stamp. I guess I could do it this way if I wanted. Line our stamp on up. Looks pretty good. Pull it up. Let's add some glue. Let's see what it looks like in a darker blue. And just ink it up as if I was going to stamp with an ink pad. And press, press, press. Press, press, press. If you've got one of those little tools to go back and forth over it, I know it's going to want to pull my paper because it's glue. Put my finger under there. Keep my paper down. Okay, that looks good. Man. I have this one while that one's going tacky. I might as well. Close it up. And then after we do these two, I have one last little thing to show you. Okay, let's add some glue. I don't need too much because I've been putting glue on it now 3 and 4 times. So just a little bit. There we go, give a good press. And by the time I finish this one, that one should be ready to go. And the glue, again, water soluble. Come right off the top of your stencil and stamp platform. I could clean my stencils. All right, well, we'll see how I did. And let's take my stamp off. And I can clean it now or I can clean it later. Baby wipe. Mild dishwashing detergent, whatever you've got. And if you don't clean it right away, it's going to be fine. I'm going to put my lid right back on because I don't want to get glitter all over my lovely sticky grid. This is the first one I did, and I thought we would do it in a blue just to see, because we did this one in the yellow. Let's see how it changes it by doing it in a different color. And let's grab a little bit of my, one of my little, and let's see what we get. Okay, let's see if we have a magic moment. That just moved all over and cling to all of those places. Look at that. Oh, yes. And then, oh, I'm gonna definitely need more, but start moving it on around. Oh, the blue. I think the blue might be the kicker. I think it's the winner chicken dinner. A little bit more. Let's see how that works. Oh, the blue is beautiful. Anywhere I can feel it's still tacky, I'm going to add a little bit more. And you'll feel that tackiness with your finger. And it's micro fine, not ultra fine, not regular. That micro fine is what lets the glitter hold on to the minute details. Super important that you use the right glitter. Not all glitter is able to do this because the granulars are too chunky, they're too big, and you'll lose the detail. Okay, let's gather it up. There's nothing left. Oh, that's just dreamy. Okay, it's a totally different look with the blue, and it's not like it's glitter, because it isn't. When you're looking at it straight on, you can't even tell there's glitter. Not until you start moving it do you notice that it's got. I mean, it just looks beautiful. Oh, what did I get? Oh, no, it's okay. Look at those. I think the blue is spectacular. I like the gold. I like the yellow curry, but I think the Admiral Blue is magnificent. And then we just did tone on tone. Also equally as pretty. But I still have this one left because it's been sitting now for a few minutes. What color do we want to do this one? Should we do it in the red? Maybe we do it in red. Okay, let's see what we got. Hot mess central here. Start moving it around. And it becomes pretty spectacular. I think we're going to need a little bit more. Your finger's a great tool. So lovely. So it's up to you. You've got so many different looks that you can choose from. So many different options that you can do. Whether you're using the glitter or you are just stenciling or you're stenciling and stamping. But I said there was one more thing. Okay, let's move these out of the way. And let me make sure my lids are on everything. And then we move on. All right. So I have played with the stencil and the stamp quite a bit. But there is still one more thing you can do with the stencil. Well, there's several things more you can do with the stencil, but one more thing I want to show you. And it involves your Sizzix Big Shot machine. Now the stencils are big. They're A5. But there's lots of room on either side of them. And when you use a stencil and a squishy and a knock-knock in your Big Shot machine, you get a textured impression, not an embossing, a textured impression. I am sorry, but this is absolute. I just winked at me. Literally, I just winked at me. My goodness, that's beautiful. So, when I did my stencils, and I've talked to them about this when I was there, my A6 stencils, my smaller stencils that go with my embossing folders, will fit through my Sizzix Big Shot machine without any problem. But my A5 stencils are just a little bit too big to go through. And I want it to go through because I want to do an embossing. So you have to be okay with this. And I'm okay with it because it doesn't cause any harm. I just need to give my stencil a little bit of a haircut. Just a little bit of a haircut, and you might want to take it off of both sides, just a little bit, entirely up to you. It is not going to impact the stencil at all. You're still going to have your holes at the top. All of it is going to be fine. I just want to get my stencil to a width that I can then put it through my Big Shot machine. Still a little tight. I might just take a little bit more of a trim. And I can hear some of you going, oh my gosh, she's cutting her stencil. Only a haircut. Everybody needs a haircut now and then, right? And if I want to make my stencil do even more than stencil, I need to just give it a little bit of a haircut. You will never know or notice when you are actually stenciling with it. It is not going to be impactful at all. In fact, there's many companies who their stencil, the frame is like right up against the edge of the stencil. Even after giving it a haircut, I still have oodles of room. Oh, see, yeah, now it goes through. See, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna give it a haircut, both of them. I'm just gonna go zoop. And I'm gonna be okay with it. And you're gonna be okay with it. Because remember, you can pull other stencils out and they leave even less of a frame than what we've got here. Even when giving it a haircut, I still have more space between the edges than quite a few. All right, that's good. Now I'm going to take my Reveals paper, because Reveals paper is a color core paper. And I'm going to bring over my Sizzix Big Shot platform, and I'm going to put that down. Then I'm going to bring over my Sizzix Knock Knock. It's an emboss and transfer set, I think is what it's called. It's a Knock Knock. Knock Knock goes down. Then I'm going to bring my Squishy. My Squishy goes down. Then I'm going to bring over my paper. Make sure my paper goes through. My paper goes down. Then I'm going to bring over my stencil. And my stencil goes down. The last thing I do, the last thing I do is put a cut plate or a do not cut plate right over the top of it. And then I send it through. And what's going to happen is the pressure from the roller is going to push on that squishy, and it's going to force an embossing. It's not really an embossing, it's a texturizing. That's what I would call it, more of a texturizing. And can you see a little bit of it? It's not embossing, it's texturizing. But because this is sandable paper, because this paper is meant to be sanded and torn, I can then take and I can sand off the top layer, exposing the detail. Exposing the detail. And then if I want, I can take my other stencil and line it on up. And I'm going for close. And do the same thing. And send it on through. And then back. And now I've put that extra detail in that I can come back in and continue to sand. And it pulls up the detail. Pretty cool, right? That's just using a squishy and a knock-knock. You gotta give your stencil a haircut. But once you give it a haircut, you will be fine. Your stencil will be fine. And then you make whatever you want out of it. So pretty. Do I want to cut it? Start making it an A2 size. How pretty is that, right? No ink, no glitter, no fuss, no muss. I literally just sanded it. Sent it through my Big Shot machine and let my Big Shot machine do the work. It's just so pretty. And it's so simple. But you need a squishy and a knock-knock to make it happen. And with the stencil this size, we needed to give it a little bit of a haircut. But then look at, there's one more thing you can do with it. One more thing, and it's a 2-layer stencil, and I used both layers to make it work. I didn't just do one, I did them both. Sizzix facing front, there we go. It's a 2-layer stencil that I made work. As a texture plate. This set has so much to offer. All the sets have so much to offer. Being that the die, or no, the stamp came out before the stencil, you may already have the stamp. Let's see, where is the stamp? Right here. The stamp came out before the stencil. You might already own this. And then all you need is the stencil to make it even more than you thought it could be. But all of my sets are that way. The petals is absolute, and you could do the same thing. You could take this stencil, 2-layer stencil, and you could roll it on through to give yourself a textured look. But the stamp launched in March, and now in October, it's got its match made in heaven. Love this. And when I do my embossing folders, This is an amazing embossing folder. It's so detailed, and you change the color of what you're using. You change the color of the inks and you change everything about it, or you change the color of the paper. But then when you add it, I mean, does this, maybe the packaging doesn't look as wahoo cachoo as it should. I was still learning how to do packaging. But holy smokes, artichokes, when you see the two of them together, it is absolute magic. Same here with Sunday in the Park. You're really, even if you're not into stencils yet, when you see how beautiful they are when you pair them together, you will see the reason behind it. You will see why I did what I did. And then of course, my fanciful framelit. Because squares were needed. I love the design. Yes, you can foil it. Yes, you can letterpress it. Yes, you can just use it with reveals paper and sand away. So the collection really is for October. It really is small. It's fanciful framelits, Sunday in the Park, embossing folder and stencil. Down the line, embossing folder and stencil. And then the coordinating stencil for petals. And the coordinating stencil for my Inspire stamp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. 7. And then we'll put on sale the original stamps to go with those stencils. Because as you see, it is all about making absolute magic. Whether you're using the stencil, the stamp and the stencil and the stamp and the glitter, what makes your heart happy? Oh, they're so pretty. They really are so pretty. All right, so I've got oodles to show you. Oodles to show you. And the sanding block is on sale. The little scoopers are on sale. The glue pad is on sale. I have got a smoking hot deal on the reveals. So right now we've got, it's like buy the A4, buy this size, and you're getting the A6 that's $12.99 for free. Whether you get the spice or the jewel tones. This is the collection that I launched. This is the collection that came out in September. But it's like you buy the A4 and you get 10 sheets. No, you get 10 colors, 4 of each sheet. So 10 colors, 4 of each sheet. They tear to a lighter shade. Buy the A4 size, get the A6. And the A6 is perfect. It's perfect for the embossing folders. That's why you love the A6, because it goes right into the embossing folders. You don't have to trim or anything. So buy one, get one. You're getting the smaller size for free. And these retail for, I think, $12.99. So it really is a value. You're getting both, I think, for $19.99. And then we'll put all my inks. I've got 18 of them. I don't have them all out here. All my inks and my re-inkers, and we'll put my glitter. All of it as part of the YouTube Yummies. We'll do the blending brushes. So all of this will be part of the YouTube Yummies, and you'll find it all on sale. Okay, let's do some samples. So with the set that I was using today, which was my Inspire stamp set. Ooh, I've got a lot. My Inspire stamp set and the Inspire adornment stencil. Isn't that lovely? This one is by Brenda DeLoyer. So pretty. See, she just used it right off, not even the whole thing. Look at that. And here, we cut it down. So it's not a full A5 size, not even close. We cut it to a square. And here, this is by Britt. Britt, this is beautiful. You've got the square going on. You've got the stencil happening. Look at how beautiful is that. And they're just taking a portion of the stamp, just a portion of the stamp to make that happen. You have options. When something's bigger, you have options. SMS girl Elena made this one. Oh, okay. I wonder if she... Why, yes, she did. So here's Brenda DeLawyer, and here's Brenda DeLawyer. Look familiar? Well done, you. She just cut it in half. Made 2 different cards out of the same. She did it once. She did the stenciling and stamping once. Cut it in half and got 2 cards out of it. Yes, well done, you. Oh, this one's beautiful, Tanya Brooks. This one's beautiful. Look at that. She stamped, she stenciled. Isn't that gorgeous? And again, this is an A2 size card. A2, right? I think it's A2 or A6. It's by allowing you, having a stamp that big allows you the opportunity. Wow, this is beautiful, Dana. Gives you that opportunity to do more with it. Here it looks like she's just maybe even gel pressed that on. It's so pretty. Oh, yay. Okay, Zelda. Zelda did a whole front, and then she took my fanciful framelits, die cut it out, and then pieced it back together almost like a decoupage. Oh, that's so pretty. And this was just done with the stencil. She didn't even use the stamp. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, and I love this one. This one is Brennan. Hello, Brennan. Brennan, look at that foiling with my fanciful framelit. Yes, please. He used the stencil only, and then he took that fanciful framelit and he foiled with it. You bet you can foil with it. Oh, and this one's clever, Brennan. Brennan took my down the line embossing folder with all the geometrics, and then he layered the beautiful floral. So lovely. Way to go. Love it. And then this one was done by Mary, SMS girl Mary. Here she's got the down the line stencil as the background, and she's got a fanciful framelit here, and she's got our stamp, our Inspire stamp in the middle. So she's taken three different SKUs, 3 different designs, and combined them together. And this one's so pretty. This one's also Mary. So she did the same. Look, she's got this beautiful stenciling, but then she's got the down the line embossing folder as the textural image or textural aspect to this. So it's got texture to it. It's lovely. And then I did this one as a QC sample. I just wanted to see what it looked like fully done. So this was one of the very first ones I ever did with this set. And I just played with watercolor and my inks. And here, this was the first stenciling one that I did. I think this might be on the packaging. So love that set. Then we have the petals set. And the petals set is these 2. So this one came out in March. This has just launched. They work together or they work independently of each other. Petals is so pretty. Look at just the stencil. Look at how sweet is that, right? That stencil's so sweet. This one's by Zelda. So lovely. And then I did this one in a Take 2 Tuesday to show you that you could stamp and stencil. And I didn't even use black ink, and the inks layered on top of each other and they made new colors. Look at Make a Wish by Brenda DeLoyer. Oh, so pretty, Brenda. I love this. This looks so good. And then we have Britt. Oh, Britt, this is beautiful. So Britt used the leaves. That's from my Farfalla Stampin' stencil set, my butterfly. It's called Farfalla. So the 2 leaves from that, and here she's done stamping and stenciling. This is so pretty, Britt. Oh, love this one too. This one's Tanya. Oh, Tanya, love. Look at the coloring. So that's using petals. So many different ways to use that stamp and stencil. Oh, and this is so soft and beautiful. Dana, this is just so soft and so beautiful. Look at how pretty is this. Trust the timing of your life. Love that. That comes on the Inspire stamp. Sending warm wishes. This is by Zelda, and she's used embossing powder with the stencil. Not even the stamp. This is just the stencil. And then me playing with the stamp and the stencil together and letting my colors melt into each other. And this one is Patty V, honorary SMS girl Patty V. Love the color. She's got the fanciful framelit going on. Yes, she does. It looks amazing. And then we have got Yvette, honorary SMS girl Yvette. Again, another fanciful framelit in the diamonds. And then petals cut up. And then Thank You by honorary SMS girl Mary. You've got just the stencil in the back. No stamp, just the stencil. And then we've got SMS girl Claire. Isn't this lovely? Again, just the stencil. Just lovely. Then we move on to, if I can grab them. There we go. Then we move on to our embossing folder, Sunday in the Park, and our stencil to coordinate. Now this stencil is smaller than Inspire. This is an A6, and you're not gonna have to give this one a haircut at all. This one's gonna fit through your Big Shot machine. It's the A5 stencils, but trust me, I'm talking to them about it. So several of these I made during the Take Two Tuesday. This is the stencil and the embossing folder. But here we have Zelda, just the stencil. This one's beautiful. Britt, this is gorgeous. Oh my goodness gracious. Look at that. And she's cut out elements for the sides, for the corners. Look at how beautiful is that. Britt, oh, that's dreamy. And then she's done, these have to be Britt, yeah. Then she's done some coordinating tags to go with, where she's cut out the florals in Sunday in the Park. Here we have honorary SMS girl Yvette. She did the same thing. She cut out elements of it to make the card. And here is a sample that I made during a Take Two Tuesday of the embossing folder and the stencil. Blending all my inks and just making beautiful colors together. And then Patty V using opulent paper. Love this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at how rich that is. And here we have Honorary SMS Girl Mary with Laker colors. I don't know if she intended it that way, but that's what they are. We've got purple and golds going on with the stencil and the embossing folder. Now this one I did when I was at Sizzix. When I was in Wales. On camera, I think I did this, so you're seeing it first, and that's just the stencil. Yum! And I did this one, and Claire was kind enough to finish it for me. I just did it in monochromatic. I did it in black ink, and I desaturated the black to a gray. And here I added a touch of glitter to some of my petals, which almost looks like foil. And this one's by Brenda DeLoyer. So you've got the back with the stencil, and then she's got the embossing folder on the fronts. Cut up into squares with my fanciful framelits. Ooh, this one's dreamy. Tanya, love your color choices. You've got the fanciful framelit going on around it. You've got your embossing folder and your stencil. And I bet this is Dana. Yep, Dana. In fact, I bet these next two are Dana. So pretty. Done with the stencil. Yeah, done with the stencil. Kind of almost like a mulberry paper. It's so pretty. And then this one, this feels like a gel print. Look at that. Right? Amazing. This one's Dana as well. And here, Brennan, love it. Brennan's used my fanciful framelit in my ovals. He's gone ahead and he has foiled it. Love you for that. You've got my Sunday in the Park as the background, and you've got my petals stencil. Oh, love it. Yay, Brennan, I love it. And Zelda, oh, Zelda, so pretty. With the stencil and the embossing folder. They just really are two peas in a pod. They just go so well together. I designed them that way. I love them that way. And I like having oodles of different options because I have both. Let's see. Okay, last but not least is down the line. So very geometric, but so cool. So cool. You look at it here and you're going, meh. But then you look at it here and you're like, wait, what? That's this? Yes. Look at how fun that is, right? That's the stencil and the embossing folder. Look at how fun that is. Love these. And here we've taken the background. So down the line, the embossing folder, and we've trimmed out part of Sunday in the Park embossing folder and paired them together. And Claire did this one. Great job, Claire. Look at that. This is good. This is better. It's just the stencil and blending my jacquard inks. Just the stencil and blending my jacquard inks and then throwing clear embossing powder over the top. Look at the depth of color, right? Fabulous. And then here it is without the embossing powder over the top and made into a card. But look at this, what great color combinations. I had so much fun making these. I did these on a Take Two Tuesday. I had so much fun playing with all the different colors I could come up with by blending my inks. And using, this one I used embossing powder over the top of to get that shine. I love this set. And then here, look at this, USA from Katie, honorary SMS girl Katie. How clever is that? That's with down the line embossing folder. And have a marvelous day. The embossing folder and the stencil. How about Hello Winter? This one is by Brenda DeLoyer, and you've got the down the line stencil. She's made it icy, almost like ice fractures. Look at that, isn't that fabulous? And I Believe in You, Tanya Brooks had the same thought I did. Love your color combinations. And then Zelda. I love Zelda. You've got the grays, and then down here, look at, she's left it. I love this Zelda. And then the last thing is the squares. And again, you've seen them on several of the cards. You've seen them foiled. You've seen them sanded. The squares are my fanciful framelits, and they are a purposeful, useful set of dies. All of my fanciful framelits really are a purposeful, useful set of dies. All right, you guys. Phew! What do you think? Right? So this is my October collection for Sizzix. It launched October 1st, just not here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. We take a step back so that retailers have the opportunity to sell their product before the designer. And I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we did that for this year. Next year, I'm not sure we're going to be doing the same. I'm not sure what's going to happen next year. But for the first year, I think it was really important that we support all the independent retailers out there, and that I take a step back and give them the opportunity to really sing with the product and show it off in the best light in the way they use it versus me having it first. So now it's my time. I'm super happy. We'll see what happens next year. I don't know what's going to happen yet. Time is going to have to wait and see. But if you liked anything you saw here, well, you can find it at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. It's under the YouTube Yummies category. We put everything under there for sale, the glitter and the inks and the reveals at special pricing, and the blending tools. All of that will be there for you to take a look at and see if it's something you want to add to your crafting stash. And then I will be back next Monday. I'll be back on Monday for our next Make It Monday event, where we take one bundle, just one bundle, and it has a value of between $80 and $100, and we bring it to you for only $19.99. So that is on Monday. Until then, I am Stacey. I am a licensed designer for Sizzix, Jacquard, and Couture Creations, but also owner of Scrapbooking Made Simple. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for taking the class and enjoying time. I love spending time with you all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and until Monday, have a really wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.